What's up, YouTube? It is Callie here, and tonight I am going to do my very best to pretty much encapsulate, I don't know, that's the word I want to say, encapsulate why relationships are so hard. I'm testing something out right now, if I'm being completely honest. The other night when I made my video about, you know, my past, I had a terrible, terrible migraine before I got started. And I even had made myself a cup of chamomile tea because it's helpful for headaches. And I figured I would have to drink it while I was doing the video. But the minute I got started recording, my headache pretty much vanished. So I've had a terrible, 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 terrible headache pretty much all day. And even yesterday, I knew I said I was going to make a video yesterday, but I'll be honest, it's been a terrible, terrible 2 days. I'm a wreck. I don't know if you guys can tell just by looking at me, but I'm a wreck. Me and my partner have been at odds for 2 days straight, and I will tell you, it is the most stressful thing, you know, when you fight with somebody that you love. And so yeah, I just, you know, I want to make this video because to be honest, part of me, you know, like, maybe I don't even know. It's just my opinion, to be honest, on why relationships are so hard. But with my experience and what I've learned, yeah, so I'm going to start off by saying, like, this lifetime for me is about self-mastery. And I know not everybody is on that, I guess, like, mission, or, you know, a lot of souls are really young who come to Earth, and they just want to learn, you know, basic survival. How do I eat? How do I feed myself? You know, how do I just survive? And there's nothing wrong with that, you know. They're maybe more primal, more in their body. And some souls that come to Earth are just almost repelled. Like, almost repelled by being confined to a body. Like, I'm an infinite cosmic being. What am I doing stuck in this body? No, no. Why am I here? So that's my experience. That's my feelings on it. I did not come here to just play around. While I believe and feel part of being on Earth is supposed to be enjoyable, you know, we all kind of forgot what the game was about, and it's turned into something that's really hard now. It's hard, and maybe it's so hard because we wanted to make it more interesting for ourselves, you know, when you can have anything at the snap of your finger, and that's the way it is. And you come here and it's like you have to work really hard for things to go the way that you want them. So I don't know, that's just, before I get into this, that's my journey. My journey is about self-mastery. So when I do things that, you know, not set me back, but I find, you know, very humanistic, I get so hard on myself. And I know I shouldn't, because I am in a human body, and there's that nature inside of me as in everyone else. And it's like, it drives me nuts. But I am, especially if I'm not, you know, reminding myself on a daily basis who I am, I tend to get lost in the skin too. You know, everybody does. And so with that said, relationships, man, relationships. Why are they so hard? Okay, so this is my take on it. I used to get really, like, not offended, but I used to get really hurt, you know, when I felt certain ways and other people didn't necessarily share my point of view. I didn't, you know, I come from a very small town, a very sheltered town, right? A very sheltered town. And it's like things, like, there's a cap almost to what you'll experience in a town like that, you know. You know, there's no murders, there's no like rapings, or you know, there's no extreme violence. So I don't know if my perception is somewhat skewed. Like if I grew up in this city, how some of these people have to survive, if I would be more primal. But the way I was, you know, and don't get me wrong, like where I'm from, people are just like, I'm all about my big trucks, my mud, and I want to get dirty. I want to go hunt. I want to drink my beer by the campfire. You know, that's like what people where I'm from are into. And me, I'm just like, what about the cosmos? You are not just a human. You're a spirit. You're a soul. That's what you are. And you're in a body. And people where I'm from look at me like, she's drinking the crazy sauce again. She, you know, they think I'm crazy, and you know, I'm lucky to have the people that I do love me. But yeah, they think I'm pretty much crazy. So with that said, yeah, when people didn't share my point of view, I didn't understand, you know, a lot of things about perception and perspective. And it wasn't until, you know, I started to really understand my own perspectives and my own perception and what they're, you know, are built from or how they're molded that I could really even understand anybody else's. And even still to this day, you know, we all tend to put blinders on when dealing with other people because it's like this mind we have, it's so overtaking. It just overtakes you. It's like the mind comes with the body. I don't think the mind is necessarily us. However, we're like, it's part of the body. All right, you get into this suit, you have this default programming called the mind and called the nature, and you're kind of like stuck with it until you leave the body. And your voice is in there. Like your voice is like, hey, I'm in here, but it's not very loud. And so if you don't know how to decipher between, you know, as I say, the voices in your head, you can very easily lose yourself, and it won't be long before the mind is dictating everything that you do. And I want to say, you know, the mind is a gift. It is. It can be a gift if used correctly. The mind, we are supposed to control the mind. We are supposed to program the mind. The mind is not supposed to control and dictate everything we do. So, with that said, it's easier said than done. So, anyway, back to relationships. I don't know. I've had really tough relationships, like really, really, really tough relationships. Pretty much, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just gonna get it all out there. This is my new thing. I was told that I shouldn't do something the way I felt I should do it, and for a long time, you know, I just did that because that's what I thought was best. But I'm gonna try doing it how I feel, my heart, like how I feel I should. And so that's just being completely transparent. And, you know, because how can I help anyone if I'm not coming from my most, you know, authentic self? And that's another part of my journey, learning how to trust myself. You know, I spent a lot of time looking up to people, and you know, then my neck started to hurt and I forgot how to listen to my own inner guidance. So I would always look up to someone and then they would just devastate me. And so that's how I really learned how to just, you know, you have the guide within. The guide is within. You know it all. You're a cosmic being, y'all. And for those of you who are watching this and you don't know that or you don't feel that, look, just take what feels right and leave the rest, you know. But you're cosmic, and so you know, though, you have the map. The map is the soul. The guide is the soul. I would like to say, you know, the body is the map, but that's a whole different story. Anyway, so I can only really like talk about my own perspective, and yeah, I've had really terrible relationships. I've had a few very physical abusive relationships, and you know, to me that was normal. I was raised watching, you know, my mom pretty much get beat up, and so that was like a normal, not normal, of course it wasn't like, oh, everyone should do that, but it wasn't like a deal breaker, you know. It wasn't like, okay, like, no, it was like, hey, that happens, you know. Where I'm from in the north, the domestic violence is very high because there's a lot of drinking, a lot of drugs, a lot of, you know, escaping, losing yourself, and taking all your pain and anger out on the people you love the most. And so that is what I come from. That is what I was not only born into, but what I was raised in. So, anyway, it wasn't until, you know, my last relationship that I started to really, really learn how tricky relationships could be, because, you know, you have soul, like, you are a soul in a human body. You could call it a machine, you could call it whatever you want, but you're in it. You know, you signed up, you're like, okay, I'm gonna put my soul, my energy, and I'm gonna confine my infinite self to this human body, right? Human body. Actually, this feels really good. I am so tense. I teach body communication, and I can't even communicate with my own body. That's how messed up I am right now, okay, you guys? That's how just gone I am. And, just you lose yourself in everything. So, with that said, when we meet people, you know, they talk about soulmates. People talk about soulmates. They talk about, you know, like, you seem so familiar to me. Why do you seem so familiar? It's because on a soul level, there's resonance, you know. You could be family. You could be, you know, long lost friends from the cosmic space. You know, in a way, if everything only stemmed from one source, we're all brothers and sisters in the energetic level, maybe different, or cousins at best. We're cousins at best, right? If there's, that's a different story. I'm not going to get into primordial energy, but anyway. Yeah, so there's soul resonance where you like, man, you're so familiar to me, or soul family, like, hey, you're my brother, you come from the same light that I do, or from the same darkness, perhaps, because there was darkness before light ever existed. And so yeah, but then, you know, just because you have this deep soul resonance with someone doesn't mean a thing, because you are confined by the body, which is confined by the mind. And the mind likes to play tricks on us. It likes to tell us things. You know, your mind is always saying, you suck, you're not good enough, you're a failure. My mind, man, is not nice. And I'm constantly like, oh, I'm not what you say I am. I'm not whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? Like that song, I am whatever you say I am. If I wasn't, no, I am whatever I say I am. If I wasn't, then why would I say I am? Those are powerful words. Eminem, listen, he gives y'all some great jewels in his music, like some great jewels of information. That's all I can say. But yeah, so even though you have some deep resonance with people, the mind kind of takes the front seat. It's like, hey, I'm driving the show, you get in the back, and I don't like this person because he doesn't do something this way, or he doesn't do it this way, or this person goes against a fundamental core belief. And, you know, beliefs. Man, if we didn't have beliefs, we all would love each other all the time. But we have these beliefs that have been imposed upon us, that we have been picked up, that it's like, you believe this, why? Because you were told. And how do you know it's the truth? How do you know? You don't know the truth. It's programmed. I'm trying really hard not to get off topic here. So back to relationships, okay? Yeah, deep soul resonance. So, but the mind can get in the way. And if the soul decides to leave the body while you're, you know, still like connected to it, And that happens to me. It's called like possession, when something takes over you and it drives you. And people with addiction, usually it's like their mind is being possessed by, or their body is being possessed by their mind. They have no control over what they're doing anymore. And so in that case, I don't know what the spirit or soul does. It's just like, have you guys ever seen the movie Get Out, where he gets hypnotized and his consciousness goes deep, deep, deep into the dark depths of whatever dimension, and he can see, but he has no control over anything. And the whole time he's just like, but no one can hear him because he has no more control over his body. Something else is taking over his body. In a sense, that's something, that I feel I have experience with people. My ex would be like a really good example. Sometimes his consciousness would come back like late at night, and I would be like, wow, you're there. But then the next morning, completely gone. Like, he would be gone, and everything would just be like, who's inside? No one, anyone there? Where did you go? And so, yeah, either way. We had a deep soul resonance, but it just wouldn't work out at all for thousands of reasons. And, after I dated him and how everything happened, because when I met him, I thought that, he would be the person I marry and have kids with and all that stuff. And as time went on, realizing that I had two choices. I could stay in a relationship that was very comfortable. I had all my needs met, like very physically comfortable, but spiritually suffocating. So terrible. I remember my first ritual, my first manifestation, which all came true, by the way. Everything I wrote down on that list, I got, okay? But I remember in the middle of my first ritual, a ritual is just a way of focusing your intention. For those who are like, ritual? What's a ritual? Focusing your intention. What do you want? Ask the universe. Ask and you shall receive. And that is the way it works. So I did my first ritual, and he walked in on it and was like, what are you doing? Are you stupid? This is crazy. Why would you do this? And I remember just feeling devastated, like, I'm manifesting my destiny. I'm creating my reality. Like, he just thought I was so stupid. And so that was my choice, like, stay in something where I couldn't really be me, or go out into the world, start over, start fresh, grow spiritually. And I opted for spiritual growth, which I didn't know how hard it would be. I didn't know how hard it would be. And, I don't regret it a day. Trust me, because where I was, I'm in such a different dimension than where I was. You could say one place was hell, another is heaven, right? Leaving was the best. It was so freeing for my soul. But I decided I'm never, ever going to get into another relationship again. I'm never. Like, why do I want someone to tell me what to do, how to feel, how to be, how to do everything? Everything I did wasn't right. How I feel is stupid. This is stupid. I'm stupid. Like, why would I ever want to go through that again, right? And kids, heck no, I ain't never having kids. Kids, why would I have kids? That's how I thought. Like, why would I bring more children into this already, like, really crazy world? That's how I felt. And never again. I figured I would just be free, roam the world, meet people, that crazy aunt that's just like, man, she's so cool, but she only sticks around for a day. And then you don't know where she is. She's on the other side of the planet. That's how I envisioned my life to be. That's what I thought, after I left. I was like, yeah, this is going to be what I mean. I'm never letting no man tell me nothing ever again. And, then I met my partner now. And some things, while I think we have complete control over our life, I think some things are destined and fated, and you have no freaking say in it. The universe is like, hey, at least I did this for you. You should appreciate it. Like, pretty much, I had a dream, and in the dream it said I had to have kids. And I was so angry. it pretty much said, the dream said to me, your only purpose as a woman here is to procreate. And I was like, excuse me, the heck no. I was really angry. And then just so many dreams after that was just trying to tell me that, that's what I have to do. And I didn't accept that ever. But then I met my partner, and, instantly we were like long lost parts of ourselves coming together, Like, I remember how, just amazing and safe and accepted he would make me feel when we first got together. And not that he doesn't make me feel those ways now. He's honestly a great, great, great man. We are just so different. We are so different. Example, I'm from North America. I'm white, Caucasian. I grew up very sheltered, never saw murder, never even, pretty much I had the privilege, I suppose you could say, of, living in a relatively safe environment. My partner grew up in South America, in a very, very poor country where he witnessed murder. He witnessed, some things that to me sound like it's not even real. Like, how, not that I don't believe him. I know when someone's lying. I know when someone's telling me the truth. But it's like his reality is so far than anything even comprehensible to me, because I've never experienced something like that. So not only, we're completely different genetics, and I don't think that's like a big deal, obviously, but I feel like how we're programmed genetically is very, very different. We do things different. We think different. We feel differently about everything. How we were ever able to meet on, such equal ground to begin with is amazing to me, and still is. But there's times where we don't get along at all. And it's not, it probably is a lot my fault, He comes from a family where his parents stayed together. His parents have been together for like 39 or 40 years, and my parents broke up a year after I was born. And so not only that, I was raised by a single mother who worked her butt off, but having to work to survive, she wasn't there a lot, so I probably lack on the discipline.